Marc Raimondi with ESPN, joined today by the BMF, the OG, Jorge Masvidal, who apparently is driving with his family in the car, and I hope that everyone is safe in that vehicle right now.
We're in the residential area.
Only one piece of his family. Chris is a friend, but he can also be a part of his family if he wants to be a friend.
All right.
And apparently we have a backseat driver as well in the car.
We got the backseat driver. We
I'm
got mini.
not taking no directions.
This is my mini me right here, and literally every sense of the word.
I can see that.
Wrestling practice right now. Yeah, he's going to wrestling practice right now, so he's already getting hyped up and stuff. You
know? The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, Jorge.
No, not in this case. This guy is like my identical copy. Not like in looks department, but complete attitude, what he likes to digest, what he likes to do, what he likes to talk about. It's like we're carbon copies. It's crazy.
Is he gonna fight one day?
If it was up to me, not, because I don't want to see my kid obviously walking into a ring to fight another man that's been training his whole life for this moment, and there's always a chance of injury no matter how good he is. So from like a father standpoint, no, but at the same time, I'm never going to stop him from doing whatever his dreams are. Just like nobody could have stopped me from doing my dreams and what I wanted to do. If that's what he wanted to do over everything, then yeah, but I'd rather him be like an engineer, which has a good shot at that too. So I'll take it, send him that way.
Fair enough. I want to ask you about, you have this big fight card coming up, Gamebred Bareknuckle MMA, September 8th, Jacksonville. It's a big main event. It's two former UFC heavyweight champions, Dos Santos, Fabricio Verdum. I would say probably the biggest fight you promoted so far, right? Is that fair?
By far. There is no fight bigger. I have two guys that are future Hall of Famers. If not, I think one of them might be on the Hall of Fame already. Verdum's submitted some of the greatest heavyweights that ever fought in the heavyweight division. JDS has knocked out some of those heavyweights that are in the all-time great list. So this was a fight that I was ecstatic to make them. As we're doing our homework on the guys and checking up on them and making sure they're in shape before we sign the fight, I was thank goodness I get to be around JDS a lot, more than probably any other promoter, because I'm in the gym and I get to see how his physical shape is, where his mind is at, talk to him, this and that. And I was like, man, JDS is ready to rock and roll. Verdum is ready to rock and roll. We're going to make this happen. Because as we were talking to Verdum already, he would constantly keep us updated, like, hey, guys, look, this is what I've been doing. Like, send us videos of him training and sparring and all that. We're like, yeah, man, this fight has to get made and right now.
So this is a bare knuckle MMA fight. So I want to ask you, how does that affect? They've already fought in MMA, in the octagon and the UFC. This is a whole different animal, right? How does that affect what the outcome might be? The fact they're not going to be wearing any gloves.
So I think it leans towards both ends. If you're a grappler, and I love you, Bobby. I'm gonna pick up a little bit. Get your water. If you're a good grappler, and now you get in certain positions, instead of just getting stalled out because there's these gloves and you can grab onto the glove literally, and now you can just stall out from a very advantageous position to another individual. Now when you take the gloves off, these hands are so much harder to control. They're so slippery with the sweat. It's like when you got a good guy on your back, it is nothing easy to get them off your back when there's no gloves. The chokes become a lot more probable of happening. So what we've seen since we took the gloves off is the finishes both go up on submissions and striking. Also when your hands are like slippery, it's just like trying to grab soap. When you have a glove, I have a glove, it's like there's so much friction, and that right there robs of a little bit of finishing time, ending time, for the guys. So we're definitely going to see a lot of submissions. In this particular fight, every day I wake up split, like, JDS, Verdum. It's crazy for me because they could both fight, though they're both specialists in their areas. They're both very well-rounded. JDS has one of the better takedown defenses at the heavyweight division. Obviously, Verdum is who he is on the ground, a complete world champion and stud. But can he take it to the ground, So there's a lot of questions, man. It's going to be one of those fights.
We've seen like in your past bare knuckle events that there really are a lot more submissions than you would think for that reason. Right? The gloves are not, they're not hindering the possible, like the grip and whatnot. Could favor Verdum maybe, right? I mean, we're talking about one of the best, if not the best, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys ever at heavyweight. Maybe that.
Heavyweight. heavyweight, I really can't think of a better submission artist to submit it. Like, not just get submissions, but has the names under the belt like Verdum. It's really hard to think of somebody else like who else has done it in the heavyweight division. Josh Barnett back in his time was another freaking submission machine that I just thought of. But still, even then, I think Verdum is just a couple notches above him on the technical side. So I'd put my money on Verdum as like all-time best heavyweight for submissions, probably.
So you have this fight coming up pretty soon, beginning of September. I saw you in Vegas for that press conference to promote this fight, and you were alluding to some other big plans for the rest of the year. Anything that you can share about the future of whether it be Gamebred Bareknuckle or Gamebred Boxing?
We got a huge show October. We don't have the date yet. It's either the 21st or the 27th. It's going to be in Biloxi, Mississippi. Then we got another show in December in Denver, and then we're going to have 12 shows next year, one for every flavor of the month. We're going to have 12 shows next year, and that's huge for us. As far as like athlete goes, we got an amazing grappler that it's been getting pushed back because of contracts and issues like that. But hopefully I can make this announcement soon. We got a grappler that's going to turn a lot of heads. This guy's huge in the game of grappling. He's a World Star guy, Abu Dhabi guy, and I think he's going to break the internet when he comes on over. And we're going to get to see the style of more pure submission based in MMA, but because they don't have to fight as much. You can just lock their hands now and take it to the world and start grappling and doing what they do, We got some good strikers coming in as well. We got some top-notch decorated Glory K1 level kickboxers that we're bringing in as well that are transitioning onto MMA. So we're going to have a full-out roster. By halfway next year, there'll be a lot of names announced that I don't think, just like people got shocked with Verdum JDS, I think it's going to blow the lid off people when they find out the guys that we're getting for the next quarter.
We just saw you.
We'll have Roy Nelson. We'll have Roy Nelson back ASAP. He's going to be fighting in October. We haven't finalized who yet, but Roy Nelson will be fighting in October in our main event in Mississippi, Biloxi.
Nice. It's
going to be a fireworks, man. I mean, this dude, he just doesn't look it. When I'm selling him, I'm like, man, he doesn't look it, but just watch the guy fight, man. This guy was born to fight, man.
We saw you a few weeks ago at in Salt Lake City for the BMF title fight. Your boy Dustin Poirier against Justin Gaethje. Probably not the easiest fight to be at, to put the belt around the winner. Is that fair to say?
No, never no diss or nothing to homie. He did his thing. I thought he extra did his thing because in the first round he got his ass whooped. He got rocked twice. I was right there, and right at the end of the day, Dustin caught him clean by the fence, and then Dustin didn't jump on him because I talked to him after. He was thinking that I'll just let it build up into it. Gaethje's wild, he's still very fresh and strong, so he kind of took that time off, and in that 1 minute, Gaethje adjusted, did the right move, and pulled it out. Pulled the head kick out from out of nowhere. It was great setup, great fakes, and it was freaking amazing. I thought we were gonna have that one in the bag. So obviously, I was still like, I couldn't even believe it that I was handing the belt. I was like, holy smokes! I thought my boy had this in the bag. But hats off to Gaethje and his camp. If they were to fight again, I think it'd go the complete opposite way. And then if they were to fight again, who knows? But I think DP is the better fighter. It just wasn't his night that night.
What do you think Gaethje should do with the BMF title? Should he just kind of keep it in his case, or should he defend it? Should they make it like a regular thing? What are your thoughts? You were the original, so.
I think you should defend it against me at 170. If you ask me, man, that's what should happen. If I was to come back to the sport, that's a big if. But
is that something that we could see?
No, that's something in the future. I never knock off coming back to fighting because I love fighting. Right here. I love fighting. It's my favorite pastime. It's my favorite sport. It's my way of life. So I can never say I'm not gonna fight. But I think Gaethje should just stay active. Really, fight, keep fighting, stay competing, stay fighting the world's best, because that's what a Bama is supposed to do. Take them all on. I never said I'm not fighting this guy because he's a high level grappler, or this guy because he's a fucking better striker than me. It's like, one or all, they're all the same to me. And Gaethje pretty much has that attitude. That's why he's a bad motherfucker. He fights. He's not ducking nobody. That guy literally will fight anybody. A wrestler, striker, jiu-jitsu guy. He takes them all, and that's a big requirement.
Have you come out of the USADA pool yet, or are you still in it?
I think I'm out.
You're out. Okay. So if to come back, you need to do the whole 6 month, that whole 6 month deal.
Yeah, I would do this whole 6 month deal, but it's not something that I would do yet, or that I want to do yet. It's always in the back of my mind, like, man, I miss fighting, but right now I want to get these promotions off the ground. I want to do that, and I do have some news that's huge, but I can't announce it yet. Me and you'll be talking like in 2 weeks, and then I'll announce it. I promise you, Mark, 2 weeks time.
I'm gonna hold you to that. All right.
Sure.
Just a couple last things. I wanted to ask you about the guy that you fought in that BMF title fight, Nate Diaz. He just fought Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a guy that you've gone back and forth with. I thought that was a fight that maybe could happen one day. You and Jake Paul. What are your thoughts on that fight? And is that of interest maybe one day? You and Jake.
I mean, yeah, no. I feel like these guys ain't boxers, man, and I feel like they're not me. From a businessman standpoint of view, these guys are not what would stop me from competing in boxing. Like these guys, I would have a very good night, and I'm hearing those numbers that got thrown around and made, and I'm like, man, I'll throw my name in that lottery pool, that mixed match. I don't know what's going on. It's an influencer. They call it boxing, but these guys ain't boxing. And then they're not. I get it if you don't have the skills because you started late in life. I get that, but at least you gotta have the will. You gotta have, if you don't have the skill, you gotta have the will. You gotta be mean. You gotta come to fight. You gotta be beating people up. And I kind of felt like that last fight, I didn't see either of those things, skill or will. So if you talking about me fighting them dudes, line them up on the same day. No rushing about, line them up. Give me Nate, then give me Jake. Then it might be competitive.
This is the 30th anniversary of the UFC, 30 years. I was curious what you thought, what the next 30 years might look like. How might the sport, how might the UFC evolve? By the way, what do you got there? What's
just joint, just pure good stuff. CBD, all legal.
Okay, fair enough. So not trying to narc you out. So just curious. So what do you think? UFC in 30 years, what does that look like?
I think just 10 years, bro. It's gonna be the number 2 sport in the world, and by a lot. Like the number 3 will be a good distance away, like American football and basketball is ever going, but I don't think it'll ever be MMA on the worldwide team. In the country, we don't know. I think they'll have swings, and it'll be a give and take, and it's some future Michael Jordan comes out in basketball, we'll see higher basketball and this and that. I think, basketball, football, MMA will do a lot of exchanging. But on the worldwide level, I don't see those sports ever catching up to fighting. I don't see anything catching up to fighting but soccer. Soccer will probably still hold its stronghold as number 1 sport when like the World Cup and things like that come around. But fighting is going to be number 2, and it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be more exploded than everywhere. More countries are going to invest into it because now you could be a small shithole country and just have a couple fighters and people know your country. It's crazy. They'll go to your country. You'll get so much publicity. So you're going to see a lot of these countries that maybe don't have other basketball teams, football, soccer teams, but they're going to invest in fighting. The Latin American community has been getting more and more behind it. We can tell with all the champions that came out of Mexico, guys like Chito Vera, Ilya. So the Latin community is definitely going to boost up the fighting as well. Europe's been into it so damn long. I just see it getting more intense. The paychecks getting bigger. There being bigger stakes, bigger risks, and these athletes doing it now. MMA since they're like 5, 6 years old. Being the complete package. Growing up watching guys like me saying, I'm gonna do everything that guy does and then some and be better. And it's just gonna be like everything. Evolution is gonna take these guys to the front of the sport. And 30 years from now, we're talking about assassins, man. These guys are gonna be cream of the crop. And it's going to be combat everywhere. And you're going to see your boy promoting out of my bare knuckle shows and out of Icon and out of my boxing because I'm still going to be in the game 30 years from now doing my thing, man. But yeah, fighting's going to blow up. So the UFC can't be mad. There's going to be money for everybody to eat, man.
Last thing, were you a wrestling fan growing up, like a WWE fan growing up, or no?
I'm not gonna say I was a fan, but a lot of the kids that I grew up around, they were like big fans, so they would watch it. But I wasn't like I watched like everything. If it just I happened to be at somebody's house, I would watch it. But the thing that would upset me was it'd be like a lot of talking, no actual fighting. So I was already like bothered, because in boxing, it's the opposite, and that's something that I grew up watching a lot. So I couldn't collect on that. I wasn't smart enough in a way to like, it's a pretend thing. You got to just enjoy it. It's more like theater. But no, in my mind, I was like, I want action. So I didn't watch WWE growing up.
I wore this shirt today. It's a Razor Ramon shirt. Do you know who that is?
I see it. Of course, I know who Razor Ramon is, huh?
But I wanted to ask you. I've actually always wanted to ask you about this because he was, the character was a Cuban guy from Miami, but the guy that played the character was not Cuban. Scott Hall. Of course.
Yeah, I know. Well,
but he wasn't really Latino.
Get the real street gangster Latino from Miami that actually went out there, put it all on the line over 50-something times. Let's go, WWE. What are they waiting for, man? Send me the contract already. Put somebody's name on that contract. I'm gonna go kill that guy. I don't even heavyweight, lightweight, flyweight, whatever fucking weight. I'm coming for these guys, bro.
So you're saying that you're the real Razor Ramon. That's what you're saying.
Damn right, I would beat the fucking shit out of him if he wants to fight for like the heritage rights. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he did a good job though, playing the part. He didn't do a bad job. With the aesthetics and the talking and stuff like that. But if they want the real deal, they know where to find him. And there's only one from Miami that they could do that there.
Did he have it down? I mean, to like a white guy like me.
The action was the action wasn't perfect, but he was doing it right. It wasn't bad.
Awesome, Jorge. Thank you so much, man. Again, September 8th, Gamebred Bareknuckle MMA, Junior Dos Santos, Fabricio Verdun, big card, and probably a lot more to come for Mr. Masvidal in the promoter game.
Sir, yes, sir. We got big news dropping. We also got 11 other ex-UFC fighters on the card, Bellator guys, PFL guys from all over the world, all over the map. We're getting some of the most skilled guys ever to take the gloves off and compete. And really, we're going to see who the best fighter in the world at heavyweight with no gloves is also as well. We get that cherry on top, So I can't wait. The winner of Roy Nelson versus his opponent will be fighting the winner of Junior Dos Santos versus Fabricio Verdun for our heavyweight title of the world.
Okay.
So it's a freaking big moment. It's really big for us, man.
Awesome. I'm glad you didn't crash. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Sure, yes, sir. Thank you, my brother. See you in 2 weeks, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.